Alright, back again. We are drawing a hub this time. And so we have this kind of cylindrical object that kind of cones up here. And so what we're going to use is we're going to have this axis. We're going to draw it in this sketch and we're going to revolve it around this axis. Alright, so let's head to Fusion. Turn on our origin. And we're going to start drawing in this view right here. So this would be the right side view. I'm going to hit right click, create sketch. And the first thing I want to do is just to kind of make sure that I'm going to hit line, construction, start at the origin, draw it out. Does not matter how far. I'm just going to end it out there for now. That's what I'm going to revolve around. Alright. And then let's go back and, oops, that's not the one I want right there. Take a look at this. I'm going to draw this as like an L first, and then we can add this angle, and then I'll worry about these slots later on. Alright? So this is going to be a real rough sketch. I know some of you guys don't like it when we do that, but I'm going to turn that part off. So away from this line, hovering up there, I'm just going to draw it out. Well, maybe we'll do it this way. So I want it nice and horizontal. Now nice and vertical. Horizontal, vertical, and we want it to be right above this first one that we made. I'm going to zoom in so I don't click the arrow on accident, and then connect it. Alright, so there's my basic shape, and now we're going to start putting some dimensions on it. Okay, so to this, let's worry about this one first. The inside hole is 45, and the outside 65, and that's all the way across. And we know how to do that. We've done that several times. So we hit dimension, we start at the construction line, and then we go to this, and now we're going to right click and say we want this to be a diameter or whatever that said there. Whoops, what did I just do? Right click, diameter dimension, and that was 45. And then we are going to hit there, to there, right click, diameter dimension, and that was 65. Okay, so those two are taken care of. Our overall height is 60. From here to here. Right. So I did a couple things there I didn't want it to do. I'm going to go back and hit select. I'm going to move this up some, and then I'm going to get this vertical and say that I want you and you to be locked right over top of my origin point there. And then that is 10 there as well. So we'll go back to dimension, get this to this, and that's 10. And the last one we need is this overall size of this, and so our overall diameter is 160. And so again, if I hit the the dimension tool, start at the center construction line, go to this, right click, say that we're going to use a diameter, and that was 160, is that what it said? Yeah. Alright, so there's that kind of rough shape. And we just got to put the angle in there. So I'm going to hit line again, start anywhere, just make sure it's on this horizontal line, anywhere on this one, this vertical line, and end it, and then we'll come back and put dimensions to it. And so from here to here is 45. That point to this line, 45. And then from this point all the way across is 100. So again, we start at the construction line there to this, and we're going to right click this and say that we want a diameter dimension, and that's 100. You could trim this if you want to make that all one piece, but it's not necessary. So we're just going to hit E at this point to, we're not extruding for once. I want to hit cancel. We can still have that sketch showing there, but what we want to do instead of extruding is we are going to revolve. So I apologize there, I misspoke. Profile. Let's drag a box over what we want to do there, and then our axis is that construction line that we made. Then we can go ahead and hit OK on that, and you can see that it's starting to look like our hub. So we just have to worry about these slots now. So we're going to do a bunch of construction lines. We'll create a new sketch that starts on the top of kind of the flange here, right? and then I can see that from here to here is 60 degrees, right? And then from this point out to that is 128 diameter, so it would be half of that. So let's start there first. Create a new sketch. We want it on that surface. I'm going to use some construction lines here, so I hit L for line. Construction, we're just going to draw it out somewhere out here, and that's good for now. And I'm going to do another one over here, somewhere. Okay, so I hit D for dimension. First of all, I need to add one more. Messed up. Let's add a straight vertical one going up there. Alright, now let's get dimension. So from here to here, it's half of 60, right? You guys can probably do the mental math on that easy enough, but that's how you would type it in if you want Fusion to do the math for you. Alright. And then here to here is that again. So that's a total of 60 now. And then to get to that point, again, we want it to be 128, but half of that. So this line, and I want the dimension to come down like this. This is going to mess you up if you do it this way. I want it to be this way, so it's totally perpendicular to my line. 128 divided by 2. And that's where I want that one. And let's do the same over here just to be sure. I don't know if we need it or not. But I'm going to do the same just to be sure. Not that hard to do it. Okay. And now we're going to create an arc. And we can do a center point arc, and we can also have this be a construction line. So we're starting here, out here, going across, just like that. All right. And now we can create a slot. And let's do a center to center slot. Okay, and so we're going here. Nope, that's not what I want to do. I want to create a different kind of slot. So what do I want? Overall center point, 3-point, center point arc slot. Okay. And so I think it wants me to, I'm assuming, do the center first, and out here, and then around, and then that one is 10, if I remember correctly. And I'm going to do that a second time because I had that as a construction line. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go back in and get the same thing though. I'm just going to turn this off now. And then I'm going to do all my same steps here. And then drag it out. But that we want to be not 10 across. I made a mistake there. 5. There we go. I don't like that it's doing that, so I'm going to redo that arc a third time. Just make sure I'm doing it right. Apologize. So we want to do a slot, center point slot. We're not in a construction, so I click there, start on that point, go to that point, and then we want it to be 10. Alright. And now that's locked in place. It's a little bit blue, so let's see what can be moved. Alright, so I still need to dimension it. Even though I did that once, it didn't work the way I want it to. We can say we want that to be 10. Now, this is still blue, so it doesn't know I want it right on this point. So we're going to get this concentric, this. What is going on there? No, I don't want that. Concentric, so this dot on that right there, and that one's locked in, I think. Okay, so that's good. Sorry about that, took a little longer than it probably needed to. And we can go ahead and do that. We can turn that sketch off. I do need that because I'm going to extrude that. And I'm going to take that all the way through. Change that to all so that it's cutting it out. Alright, we got that. And now I'm actually going to wake back up this initial sketch because I want to use this center line. We're going to go in here and pattern out that thing that we just made. So instead of bodies, we want features. And that last extrusion we did. And we're going to rotate that around. We just have to pick the axis here. And we want 3 of them fully around, just like that. Hit OK. We can turn that sketch back off. Let's go back and check to make sure that we have everything, and we do. So we are good to go on this part. If you wanted to check it to make sure, we could go back in here. You've seen how to do this already. And I could do a section analysis. And I could cut it on this plane. And you'd get a look at it to see that this is exactly what this view looks like. To see that you're doing it right, we can just hit cancel. We don't need it anymore. Return home. I'm going to turn off my origin so I can get a good view of this. And they wanted this out of plastic. So let's see what we can find in here to give it a material. Plastic, ABS is right there, so we'll just make it ABS plastic. And there we go. Close that. I want to make sure I'm in my home view there. And we're looking just like that. Great. Okay, so now all we got to do is bring up our properties. So there's your answer key. Take your screenshot. You're good to go with the hub.